Before I start this video about coffee, I want you to witness this. Look at him go. All he needs is my attention. If you don't give it to him, he turns into this monster. He'll swipe at your leg all day long trying to pull you over if I walk past him. But he just tries to catch me. What a dick. I'm just kidding, I love you. Let's talk about coffee. I just poured myself some coffee in this hilariously messy kitchen. We're not going to talk about that, though. Coffee is one of my favorite drugs. I take coffee every single day. It's the best. Helps me think, I think. It helps me get up and work out if I want to, which I haven't been able to this week, but mostly because I've been being a bitch, but also because I think I hurt my hip and it's been an issue. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about coffee. Here's the thing about coffee, all right? Coffee is a bit of a delicate brew process, all right? There's plenty of ways to make coffee automatically, and one of them includes one of these little coffee makers. Hold up, I'll show you. I'm coming this way. Coffee makers, bam. Automagic coffee maker, all right? You put the coffee up here in the top, bam, bam. You put some water back here and the water back, bam, and then you hit the on button and it pours down through this little freaking guy right here. It's brilliant. It makes coffee for you all day. Coffee all day. You get to drink coffee all day. You don't get to stop drinking coffee. It's the best. But here's the problem is if they're cheap, little brew devices like that don't do a great job at getting those nice little parameters in. So I learned this tip. I actually learned this from somebody named Tim Ferriss. Coffee's got two tricks, right? One of them is you want the water to be between about 185 and 195 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius. That'd be insane. I don't know how to convert that to Celsius. And the other trick is you want to grind up your coffee beans right before you actually start making coffee. And there's reasons for both of those. All right, so starting with the temperature, I actually know less about the temperature, so I'm gonna start with the coffee grind, right? So inside of a coffee bean, I learned this from the Joe Rogan podcast, inside of the coffee bean, right, you can imagine it's like this mesh grid. I don't know how to make a grid with only one hand, right? It's this mesh grid, all right? And what that grid is made out of is those firm fibers from the plant itself. And the inside of those grid pockets are like these little tiny bubbles of like the oils that contain all the flavor and the delicious caffeine and like all the beautiful stuff that you want out of coffee. So the idea is if you grind up those beans too far in advance, I think it's even within like 20 minutes or so, what happens is it exposes all those oils to air because you're breaking down the bean, you're breaking down the protective casing, right? You expose all the oils to air and it oxidizes. So oxygen comes in and you can think of it as rips out the little, little freaking oils that you actually want. That's where all the flavor comes from. And so what you're left with is the cellulose part, right? The fibers. Cellulose is bitter. It's a little dense. It's not the flavor that you'd be expecting if you're looking for like a nice, not bitter cup of coffee. Some people like it bitter. I like it, but some people do not. So water heat is a different style, and it's kind of the same problem, if I'm not mistaken. It's the idea that water that's too hot over extracts. So you get not just like those little pockets of the oils, but also, even more of the cellulose gets dissolved into the water. And that's why too hot makes, just bad tasting coffee. It makes like the really bitter kinds of coffee that you might get at a freaking Waffle House. God bless Waffle House. I love you, Waffle House. I'll drink your coffee all day. But compared to coffee I make at home, it's just different. It's Waffle House coffee. It's bitter Waffle House coffee. All right. So, and if it's too cold, the water, it doesn't extract the oils at all. It just doesn't dissolve them as well as you'd want them to. So that's why you want that balance. And those two tricks, I use them all the time. And here's how I use them. I use them all the time, and it makes great coffee. So there was a time when this was entirely clean. I miss those days. All right, so here's what I do. I have a little handheld coffee grinder. This comes with like a little lever, right? So I just take some coffee, throw that shit into there, grind that up. That's how I grind immediately. And then this is a water heater. It's one of those, you can turn them on. This is going to take like 2 minutes to boil some water. Brilliant, by the way. I love that. And then once it's done boiling, this thing will click off. You just leave it open for, like 20 seconds. I haven't done any measurements because I'm not scientifically rigorous, but it works every time, actually, and it makes very tasty coffee. But I'm not drinking that coffee because my parents already made me some coffee. So I'm going to drink this coffee. Have a good one. Peace.